Today, let's talk about the logic behind Chinese words. If you have just started learning Chinese and when you look at Chinese articles, you might find it hard to tell where one word ends and another begins. Unlike English, where word boundaries are easy to spot because of the spaces between them, Chinese text doesn't have these spaces. So today, let's explore the characteristics of Chinese words to better understand this language to learn it faster. By the way, I've created a handout listing the important concepts from this video with additional examples. You can get it by joining my Patreon for free. If you'd like to access exclusive podcasts, daily learning resources, feel free to explore the membership options in my Patreon. Now, let's talk about the logic behind Chinese words. Generally speaking, in Chinese, one syllable such as 爸,你,人 can individually correspond to one Chinese character. Chinese characters are the basic units in the Chinese writing system. Unlike English, where written text is segmented into words, Chinese written text is segmented into characters. So, what's the relationship between Chinese characters and words? That's a good question. As previously mentioned, in Chinese, syllables can individually correspond to Chinese characters, and a character is usually a morpheme, which is the smallest unit that carries meaning. Morphemes exist in every language. Like in English, unlikely has 3 morphemes. Likely. All 3 of them are smallest units that carry meaning, so they are morphemes. In Chinese, many morphemes can stand alone as words, such as 我, 吃, and 不, etc. These are all one-syllable words that carry specific meanings and can be used independently in sentences. 我不吃水果. I don't eat fruit. So there are quite a lot of one-syllable words in Chinese. In fact, one-syllable words were the most common in classical Chinese, meaning that in the past, most Chinese words had only one syllable. However, as time progressed, more and more new things and concepts needed to be expressed, so Chinese started forming more words by combining morphemes. For example, 飞机. 飞 has the meaning of flying and 机 has the meaning of machines. These 2 morphemes are combined to express airplane, a machine that can fly. Makes a lot of sense, right? Here's another example. As society advanced, more and more types of transportation appeared. Many of their names were created by combining the root word 车 with other syllables. For example, 火车, 火车. Fire vehicle is train. 公车, 公车, or 公交车, 公交车. Public vehicle or public transport vehicle is bus. And 单车, 单车. Single vehicle is bicycle, etc. You can see all these words are related to vehicles and they all have the root word 车. So in Chinese, nowadays around 80% of common words are multi-syllable words, most of them being 2 syllables, and the remaining 20% of these common words are 1 syllable. Now we know that the majority of Chinese words are 2-syllable words, and many of them were created by combining 2 existing syllables that have their own meanings. So if you want to learn Chinese words faster, having a general idea about the meaning of individual characters is important. But how can I do this? You can download an app called Placode when learning a Chinese word, for example, 年轻. which means youthful. You can type 年 into the app. It will show all the meanings associated with this character, such as year, age, and period in one's life. This helps you understand that it is related to concepts like time or age. Then you can click on the words section to see other words that use this character. The second character in 年轻 is 轻, which also has multiple meanings. It conveys ideas like light or small in number or degree. With this understanding, we can infer the meaning of 年轻 quite easily. 年 relates to age, and 轻 implies being small or light in number. Together, 年轻 means youthful. Just a heads up, not every word is easy to understand by its individual character's meaning. However, understanding the general meanings of characters will still benefit you in learning Chinese words. Even as native Chinese speakers, we have to learn the meanings of individual characters and the words they form when we're in school. For example, this is a piece of learning material for first grade elementary school students in Taiwan. You can see that they learn individual characters, their meanings, and the words these characters are used in. So the concept of 字 is very important in Chinese language learning. Previously, I mentioned that nowadays there are many two-syllable Chinese words, and many of them are formed by combining two syllables that have their own meanings. However, there's also another way two-syllable words are formed, which is by adding a prefix or a suffix. For example, 桌子, 鞋子, 箱子. They are all two-syllable words with a root word plus a suffix, 子. By knowing common prefixes and suffixes in Chinese, it can actually help you better understand the parts of speech of these words. For example, Chinese words with the suffix 子 are normally nouns, like we saw 桌子, 鞋子, 箱子. Chinese words with the prefix 可 are often adjectives, such as 可爱, 可怕, 可笑, etc. Alright, now let's do a quick recap on the logic behind Chinese words. In Chinese, one syllable typically corresponds to one Chinese character. Chinese characters are the basic units of the Chinese writing system. Each character is usually a morpheme, the smallest unit that carries meaning. Some characters can stand alone as words, accounting for about 20% of commonly used words in modern Chinese. The other 80% are formed by combining syllables, most of which being two-syllable words. Often, each syllable has its own meaning, as in 飞机, where fly plus machine expresses airplane. Some two-syllable words are formed by adding prefixes or suffixes to root words, like 桌子, table. Now that you understand the typical size of a Chinese word and how a syllable is usually represented by a single character, it becomes clear that focusing on the general meaning or usage of individual characters can greatly enhance your learning efficiency. Alright, I hope you found today's content interesting and useful. If you'd like to understand today's concepts better with key takeaways and more examples listed out, don't forget to download the handout from my Patreon. And if you'd like to improve your Chinese with my exclusive learning content while supporting me to keep creating, feel free to check out the membership options on my Patreon. Last but not least, if you'd like to learn some daily Mandarin expressions, check out my Instagram, Grace Mandarin. 那我们下次见喽，拜拜。